Welcome to the English Growth Podcast.
Your journey to fluency starts now.
Welcome back to the English Leap podcast, your cozy place to learn easy English through real-life conversations. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. And today's topic is one of those topics that feels very personal very fast.
Yes, because at first it sounds simple,
Almost harmless.
very harmless.
And then suddenly your past goals, unfinished plans, and abandoned routines all enter the room like, oh, so we're talking about us today.
Exactly, because today we're talking about why you quit too early and don't even realize it.
Ah, a deeply uncomfortable topic. My favorite kind.
Yes, the kind of topic where people smile and say, interesting episode, while remembering the gym membership they stopped using after 6 days.
6 days is not failure. That is a short emotional experiment.
Very short one.
Yes, but really, this topic matters because quitting early does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks small, quiet, reasonable.
Yes, it can sound like, maybe this just isn't for me, or I'll come back to it later, or the classic line,
I'll restart on Monday.
yes, Monday, the most trusted life coach in the world.
Exactly. Poor Monday carries so much responsibility.
But this is what makes the topic so real. Many people do not stop because they're lazy or incapable. They stop because the journey gets quiet, repetitive, unclear. And in that strange middle stage, it becomes very easy to believe nothing is happening.
Even when something is happening.
Exactly. Even when growth is happening under the surface.
And I think that is what makes quitting early so tricky. Sometimes it does not feel like giving up. Sometimes it feels like protecting yourself from disappointment.
Yes, or protecting yourself from frustration or embarrassment, or that heavy feeling of trying and not seeing results yet.
Which is such a human feeling because most people are not afraid of effort at the beginning. They are afraid of continuing when the excitement disappears.
Yes, the beginning feels shiny, the middle feels confusing, and the middle is often where people quietly walk away from things that could have changed them.
So, in today's episode, we're talking about why that happens, why people lose energy in the boring middle, why discomfort can feel like failure, and why so many people leave just before progress starts to show.
And we also have a little teaser for you.
Yes, a tiny one.
If you enjoyed having the PDF back, let's just say this episode has a little something waiting for you too.
We're not being dramatic.
We are being slightly dramatic.
Only a little, but yes, take a look in the description.
And because this is the English Leap podcast, we're doing all of this through English you can really use in real life. This is a B2 level episode, so the language will be a little richer, but still natural, clear, and comfortable to follow.
Yes, so please don't worry if you don't catch every single word. Just stay with us, listen for the feeling, and let your English grow naturally as you listen.
And later in the episode, we'll also explore some powerful words and expressions, so stay with us for that too.
And before we begin, if you enjoy learning English through honest, meaningful conversations like this, please like the episode, subscribe to the channel, and join the English Leap family.
And today, we'd really love to hear from you.
Have you ever quit something and only later realized you were probably closer than you thought?
You can keep your answer short and simple or share a little of your own experience. We always love reading your thoughts.
Because sometimes the things we walk away from too early still stay in our hearts for a long time.
And maybe this is a good place to talk about that.
All right.
Let's begin. So, let's start at the beginning because honestly, the beginning of anything usually feels amazing.
Oh yes, new goal, new notebook, new routine, new version of you.
New water bottle,
Very important.
extremely important. But really, the beginning has this special energy. It feels clean, hopeful, full of possibility.
Yes, and I think that is why the beginning of a goal can leave an impression on us. When something leaves an impression, it creates a strong effect that stays in your mind. You remember how it made you feel.
Exactly. You remember the excitement. You remember the promise you made to yourself. Maybe you said, this time I'm serious. And you meant it.
You really did mean it.
Yes, I think most people are sincere at the beginning. They are not pretending. They are not lazy. They are actually full of energy.
For about 4.5 days.
Oh, come on.
I'm just protecting people from false hope.
No, you're attacking their fresh motivation a little too early.
But you know what I mean. The beginning feels powerful because progress still lives in your imagination, and imagination is very generous.
Oof, yes. In your imagination, you are already calm, disciplined, fit, confident, focused, successful. Everything is glowing.
Your future self has perfect posture and somehow wakes up smiling.
Exactly. But that is important because it explains why the beginning feels so emotional. It is not only about action, it is also about identity. In the beginning, we feel close to the person we want to become.
And that feeling is beautiful, but also a little dangerous.
Yes, because many people think that strong beginning energy is proof that they will keep going. But excitement is not the same as endurance.
Right. Starting strong is lovely. Staying strong is different.
And that brings us to the next stage, the stage no one makes cute videos about.
Ah, yes, the glamorous middle.
The boring middle.
Oof, this stage is rough.
Yes, because the beginning is exciting, but the middle is repetitive, quiet, unclear. It does not always look impressive.
And that middle can really take a toll on people. If something takes a toll on you, it slowly has a negative effect on your energy, emotions, or strength over time.
Exactly. Not in one dramatic moment, more like little by little. You keep showing up, but you're not seeing much. You're trying, but you're getting tired.
Yes, at first you feel motivated, then you feel normal, then you feel bored, then suddenly you're staring at your goal like it personally offended you.
That is so true.
Why are you asking so much from me?
Why are you still here?
Exactly, and after a while people become reluctant. Reluctant means not fully willing, a little unsure, like part of you does not really want to continue.
Yes, you do not fully quit yet, but your heart is no longer in it. You delay, you avoid, you tell yourself, I'll do it later.
And the tricky part is, this stage can look very reasonable. You might think, maybe I'm just being honest with myself. Maybe this goal was not right.
Sometimes that is true, but many times it is not honesty. It's just exhaustion mixed with disappointment.
Yes, because the middle does not reward you quickly. It asks you to continue before things feel worth it.
Which is deeply rude, if you ask me.
Very rude.
But this is where so many people leave, not because they cannot do it, but because the process stops feeling magical.
And once the magic disappears, people start asking a dangerous question,
Is anything even happening?
which leads us to something really important.
One of the hardest parts of any journey is that growth does not always look obvious while it's happening.
Yes, sometimes change is visible, but often it's happening quietly.
You may not see huge results yet, but maybe you're becoming more patient, more focused, more emotionally steady. Maybe you're learning how to keep a promise to yourself.
And that's why one really insightful thing to remember is this. Your perception of progress is not always accurate.
Yes, insightful means showing deep understanding, and perception means the way you see or interpret something. So, in simple words, the way you judge your progress can be completely wrong.
Your brain is not always a fair manager.
No, it is not. Sometimes your brain looks at 3 weeks of quiet effort and says, not dramatic enough. I'm unimpressed.
Please return when there is glitter.
Honestly, yes.
But think about learning English, for example. A person may feel stuck because they are not speaking perfectly yet, but maybe they understand more than before. Maybe they hesitate less. Maybe they are less afraid.
Exactly. That is growth. It might not be loud, but it is real.
I think people often respect visible progress and ignore invisible progress, but invisible progress is usually the foundation.
Yes. Before confidence appears on the outside, it often grows quietly on the inside.
Before skill looks smooth, it usually feels messy.
Wow, that is such an important point. People want proof too early. They want evidence before the process has had time to breathe.
And when they do not get that proof, They panic.
Yes, they assume that no visible result means no movement, but that is simply not always true.
So if you are in a quiet season, it does not automatically mean you are lost. It might mean you are building.
And sometimes, right in that quiet season, another misunderstanding appears.
Hmm?
People start confusing discomfort with failure.
Oof, this one is huge.
Yes, because the moment something feels awkward or difficult, many people think this must be a sign.
A sign from the universe.
Exactly. Maybe this is not for me.
But discomfort does not always mean stop. Sometimes it just means stretch.
Yes. Sometimes it means you're learning something new. Sometimes it means your old habits are being challenged. Sometimes it means your identity is changing, and that never feels completely comfortable.
And the strange thing is, people often feel most uncomfortable when they are actually on the verge of something important. If you are on the verge of something, you are very close to it happening.
Exactly. You may be on the verge of improvement, confidence, clarity, or breakthrough. But because it feels unfamiliar, your brain labels it as danger.
Yes, our brains do not always say, "Congratulations, you are growing." Sometimes they say, "Abort mission."
Oh, come on, Jake.
You know it's true.
Unfortunately, yes.
Think of speaking in public, starting a new job, trying to be more disciplined, setting boundaries, learning a skill. Those things can feel uncomfortable at first, not because they are wrong, but because they are new.
Exactly. Hard doesn't automatically mean harmful. Awkward doesn't automatically mean impossible.
And I think this is where people need more kindness with themselves. Because if every uncomfortable feeling becomes a reason to quit, then growth becomes impossible.
Yes, you cannot grow and stay fully comfortable at the same time. Something in you has to stretch.
Beautiful. Slightly annoying, but beautiful.
Very annoying, actually.
And you know what makes that discomfort even harder?
Comparison. Comparison is dangerous because it makes your journey feel small, even when it's real.
Yes, you may have made progress, but then you look at someone else and suddenly your own effort feels invisible.
And the problem is, growth is unpredictable. That means it is not easy to know in advance how or when progress will happen.
Exactly. One person improves quickly in one area and slowly in another. One person gets results early. Another person builds more quietly. There is no neat timeline.
But social media makes everything look clean and fast. It makes growth look like a straight line.
Ah, yes. Day 1, confused. Day 7, transformed. Day 14, glowing in natural sunlight.
And somehow they are also drinking a green juice.
Always.
But real life is not like that. Real life is messy, emotional, uneven. And if you compare your behind the scenes struggle to someone else's polished moment, you will feel behind for no good reason.
I think instead of comparing results, people should pay more attention to whether they show willingness to stay in the process. To show willingness means to show that you are ready and open to try.
Yes, that matters so much because maybe you're not perfect yet. Maybe you are not fast yet. But are you willing to learn? Are you willing to continue? Are you willing to be bad at something long enough to become good at it?
That willingness is powerful.
It really is, because comparison asks, am I ahead? But growth asks, am I still here?
Oof. Say that again.
Comparison asks, am I ahead? Growth asks, am I still here?
See, I told you. That is the real question.
Yes, because if you are still here, still trying, still learning, then the story is not over.
And honestly, sometimes the saddest part is this.
People leave right before something begins to change.
This point really gets me.
Me too, because it happens so often. A person works, struggles, doubts, gets tired, and then just as things are starting to shift, they walk away from it.
And to walk away from something means to leave it behind, to stop, to step out of it.
Yes, they walk away from the routine, the practice, the dream, the plan, the version of themselves that was slowly being built.
Not because they were weak, not because they had no ability, but because they believed the silence meant failure.
Yes, and this is why quitting early can be so heartbreaking. You do not always know how close you were.
It reminds me of people learning a language. For a long time, they feel slow. Then one day, without warning, they understand a joke, or answer naturally, or speak with less fear.
Exactly. Progress often arrives quietly at first. It does not always knock loudly on the door.
Sometimes it sneaks in wearing slippers,
That is such a weird image.
but accurate.
Very accurate. And this is why patience matters, because growth does not always announce itself. Sometimes it is already happening while you're busy feeling discouraged.
So many people think they need more talent when sometimes they just need more time.
Yes, more time, more steadiness, more trust in the process.
And to be clear, not every goal should be forced forever. Sometimes walking away is healthy. Sometimes something truly is not right.
That is true, but that decision should come from wisdom, not from one tired emotional moment.
Yes, not from one boring week, not from one bad day, not from one moment of doubt that feels louder than the truth.
So, then the question becomes, what do we do in those moments?
Yes, how do you stay when every part of you wants to disappear and start a completely new life with a fresh notebook?
Exactly. So let's talk about that now. How to stay when you want to leave. First, when everything feels heavy, narrow down the goal. To narrow down something means to make it smaller, clearer, or more focused.
Yes, do not try to fix your whole life by Tuesday.
Please do not.
Very tiring.
If the goal feels too big, make it smaller. If the routine feels too hard, make it lighter. If the process feels overwhelming, focus on one next step.
I think people often quit because the goal becomes emotionally too large. It starts feeling like a judgment on their whole life.
Yes, it's no longer, I missed one day. It becomes, I'm the kind of person who never follows through.
And that is too much weight for one moment to carry.
Exactly. So speak more carefully to yourself. Stay specific. Stay calm. Do not turn one difficult moment into a story about your whole identity.
Second, remember your reason, not the dramatic reason you wrote in a burst of motivation, the honest reason, the human one.
Yes, maybe you started because you wanted peace, confidence, health, stability, self-respect, connection. Come back to that.
Third, allow imperfect consistency. That matters so much.
Yes, a messy effort that continues is often stronger than a perfect effort that disappears.
Oof, that one should be on a mug.
A very serious mug.
A mug with emotional depth.
And finally, stop asking, do I feel inspired? Ask, can I stay with this a little longer?
Because sometimes the bravest thing is not doing more. Sometimes it is simply not leaving.
Yes, not leaving yourself, not leaving the process, not leaving the quiet work just because it is not exciting today.
I really love that, because staying is a skill. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is just one ordinary choice made again and again.
And over time, those ordinary choices change you.
They really do.
And now, let's slow down for a moment and look at some of the powerful words and phrases we used in today's episode.
Yes, because some of them sound very natural in conversation, but they also carry a lot of meaning.
So, if any of these expressions made you pause for a second and think, wait, what exactly does that mean? Don't worry, we've got you.
Yes, no one is being left alone in the vocabulary for us today,
That is a strange image.
but a supportive one.
Very supportive. So, let's begin with a phrase from today's episode. Leave an impression.
To leave an impression means to create a strong effect that people remember. It's when something stays in your mind because it felt powerful, noticeable, or meaningful.
For example, the beginning of a new goal often leaves an impression because it feels exciting and full of hope.
Or, her confidence really left an impression on everyone in the room. Repeat, leave an impression.
Leave an impression. Next, a very useful phrase, take a toll.
If something takes a toll on you, it slowly has a negative effect on your energy, emotions, or strength over time. Not always suddenly, sometimes little by little.
For example, the boring middle can take a toll on people when they do not see results for a long time.
Or, working without rest for months really took a toll on him. Repeat, take a toll.
Take a toll. Next, a really useful adjective, reluctant.
If you feel reluctant, you are not fully willing to do something. You may feel unsure, hesitant, or not very excited about it.
For example, after a few difficult weeks, she became reluctant to keep going.
Or, he was reluctant to speak in front of the class at first. Repeat, reluctant.
Reluctant. Next, an excellent word for deeper thinking, insightful.
If something is insightful, it shows deep understanding. It helps you see something in a clear, thoughtful way.
For example, it was an insightful reminder that progress is not always visible.
Or, she made an insightful comment about why people fear change. Repeat, insightful.
Insightful. Next, a very important noun, perception.
Perception means the way you see, understand, or interpret something. Two people can look at the same situation but have a very different perception of it.
For example, your perception of progress is not always accurate.
Or, social media can change our perception of success. Repeat, perception.
Perception. Next, a longer but very useful phrase, be on the verge of.
To be on the verge of something means to be very close to it happening. You are almost there.
For example, sometimes when things feel uncomfortable, you are actually on the verge of growth.
Or, she was on the verge of giving up, but then things started to improve. Repeat, be on the verge of.
Be on the verge of. Next, a strong adjective, unpredictable.
If something is unpredictable, it is not easy to know or guess in advance. It may change in unexpected ways.
For example, growth is unpredictable, so it does not follow the same path for everyone.
Or, life can be unpredictable even when we make careful plans. Repeat, unpredictable.
Unpredictable. Next, a useful phrase, show willingness.
To show willingness means to show that you are ready, open, or prepared to try something. Even if it is difficult, you are still willing to step forward.
For example, what matters most is your ability to show willingness to stay in the process.
Or, he showed willingness to learn even when he made mistakes. Repeat, show willingness.
Show willingness. Next, a phrase we used in a powerful way, walk away from.
To walk away from something means to leave it behind. It could be a goal, a situation, an opportunity, or even a relationship.
For example, many people walk away from their goal right before progress starts to appear.
Or, she decided to walk away from a job that was making her unhappy. Repeat, walk away from.
Walk away from. And finally, a very practical phrasal verb, narrow down.
To narrow down something means to reduce it and make it more focused. You move from many options or ideas to fewer, clearer ones.
For example, when everything feels overwhelming, narrow down your goal and focus on one small step.
Or, we need to narrow down our choices before making a decision. Repeat, narrow down.
Narrow down.
And those were some of the key words and phrases from today's episode.
And maybe the heart of today's message is simple. You do not always need to do more. Sometimes you just need to stay a little longer.
Yes, be kind to yourself. Trust the quiet part, and do not walk away too quickly.
And take care of your heart.